Hello and welcome to another episode 58 of the Fantasy Threesome FPL podcast. I'm here in my Ford Focus studio. I'm here with Mike and Ant. Oh, actually, they're not in my car. Mike, how are you?
Oh, if only I was in your car. Yeah, you look a bit like a trapped dog in one of those adverts. It's very hot out there, folks. It's very hot out there. Do leave the windows open.
It's not
Unless you're recording an international, globally successful podcast, in which case, keep those windows wound up. We don't need any background noise.
Yeah, I'm struggling for the team here because no windows are down. I'm just sweaty. And how are you?
Man. Yeah, good. Summer's finally here, boys. Happy days, eh?
Yeah, the week after I went camping. Really grateful for summer to turn up.
It felt like the day the schools went back. As a parent of three, keeping them occupied in the rain for the last 6 weeks, and the minute the school doors are open, out comes the sunshine.
Bye, kids. Have fun.
So, gents, we thought on this podcast, because it's been the international break, it's very easy. I mean, I personally use the international break as a bit of a downtime from FPL, so it doesn't get too intense for me, so I don't get too stressed. I maybe take a break from looking at my team for a good few days, but lots happened in the international break, and we need to refocus on game week 4, which is coming up thick and fast. Is that about the same for you, boys? Do you have a bit of downtime?
Well, I had downtime from watching football, of course. However, not so much in terms of FPL. Those twitchy fingers, they've been a twitching.
Oh, no.
So,
dear.
You might remember last week, I mentioned that at 3:03, on the last match day, I transferred out somebody, it seems so long ago now, Danny Ings, and I bought in Jesus.
Yeah.
Then I transferred out Jesus about 3:10. So he had to the tune of 4 points. He'd not even got the chance to play a game because I bought in Lukaku.
Good choice.
Okay?
Yeah. Sounds like a good signing. Yeah.
Anyway, I've been thinking about it, and I'm afraid Lukaku has suffered a similar fate. I've transferred out Lukaku and bought in Cristiano Ronaldo.
Wow.
So there's two players there that have come in without even having a game week under their belts that have been
points.
And have cost me points. They've been whisked away. So I've spent 16 points, I think, this transfer window.
Do you know what? I would love to know if anybody else plays the game like Mike does. Is there anybody out there who brings somebody in and transfer them out before they've even played a minute in their team? There can't be, can there? It's a very unique style.
Well, the thing is, you've had a great start to the season, and now you're car crashing it.
Well, am I? Or, I had 16 points to play with, didn't I, lads, looking at our table? So,
when a kid goes to a sweet shop, the kid goes to a sweet shop or goes to a shop, or maybe they've got like some birthday money. You've got kids, guys, so you know it's like they might have a tenner of birthday money, and they don't really particularly want something, but they see something that's £10 and think, yeah, I'll buy it because I can. And then they get home, and the next day they might see something else that they actually did want, and they can't afford it. And you think, oh, you shouldn't have been so impulsive.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus was that those squeezy rubber balls that no matter how much you squeeze them, they can't burst, but actually they can. That was them, and then it was the Cristiano Ronaldo is the Velcro headset with fluffy balls to catch them on. Those are my two purchases. And let's be honest, that they'll both be down the charity shop before we know it. I'm speaking metaphorically now. I'm not going to wheel Cristiano down there just yet. Help the aged perhaps before too long. But
Is this the downside to having an Excel spreadsheet planning your fantasy football team?
Yeah, that's a good shot, actually.
The downside because you did all your planning pre-international break and pre-transfer window closing. And to be fair, this transfer window was pretty spectacular. The arrival of Ronaldo took everyone, by surprise.
And I'm just looking at my spreadsheet now, just bringing it up. So
have you stuck to it?
No, not so much. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so 4 players that I should have been like keeping in my team. I've transferred them all out, so that's not ideal.
So
Yeah.
your spreadsheet for the second year running's pretty much out the window.
It's gone after 2 weeks, unfortunately. Yeah, yeah.
But you're doing well, so let's not because I joked, that you're not really my competition this season. I just want to beat Ant because I knew that you would self-implode. Maybe I hadn't predicted. You hadn't predicted self-implosion after game week 3 and after you having such a great start to the season.
Yeah.
And it's all bearing fruit now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. So yeah, well look, hey lads, we'll see. Also, yeah, Jaden Sancho. I bought him in, and I'm thinking like, oh yeah, because he'll be really good. And then he came back injured, and I'm not sure if he's going to play. And then I was like, oh, you know what? If I'm going to have a United asset, surely Ronaldo's the main man. He's going to be on everything now. So it's Ronaldo. It's all Ronaldo's fault.
It is. He's had nearly a million new owners already, unsurprisingly.
A lot of people will be trying to shoehorn Ronaldo in, and we'll speak about it briefly. We don't need to go on about it forever, but yeah, I mean, I've got the Ronaldo quandary because I watched Kane against who was it, Hungary, and he just kept passing it to the keeper, didn't he?
He did score though.
Yeah, what he scored?
He's got a penalty, didn't he?
Yeah, a penalty. Yeah,
and a diving header.
Oh yeah, he did do that as well. Yeah, but he didn't look. He didn't look on tip-top form.
And nor did Ronaldo. He still scored goals.
And then Ronaldo popped up with a double
right towards the end,
including some kind of superhuman header.
So do you go, if you can afford to, would you go Kane to Ronaldo right now?
Yes.
Well,
actually, my spreadsheet would tell you wait a week because actually they've got Palace this week, and you might as well wait until their fixtures get a bit trickier. But the temptation of Newcastle at home with United this weekend is, yeah. I mean, if you've got Kane, I would stick with Kane for at least another week, and let Ronaldo bed in. But that's not what I've done. So,
Phil, I mean, this is good because it does open the door for us, doesn't it? I mean, if Mike's doing this after having such a good start, I mean, it does give us a chance, mate. It does. But boys, it's early days.
Possibly predicted this.
Oh, everybody. I mean, we are only 3 game weeks in here, boys, out of 38. No, we don't need to panic. We do not need to panic.
I need to know how many transfers I've made so far. I think there's been quite a few. Anyway,
so
look,
talking of
CR7, yeah.
So he's got a booking, and so he's not playing in Portugal's game midweek. So he's coming back early.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought you were about to say against Newcastle, and I was going to make another transfer.
I don't know if he's going to start necessarily.
Yeah, he is. Come on.
I think he's got to, isn't he?
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, he's got to.
How do you think he's going to fit into that United team? Because United bought him because they could. They didn't buy him because he was part of a long-term plan. He was available, and sensibly they bought him. But United have been playing in a certain way with certain players. So whose position does Ronaldo take?
Cavani
/
Martial.
Yeah, who both haven't exactly looked on it, have they?
So you think he goes straight in up top?
I think he goes straight. Yeah, and that's a shame for Greenwood, but I think that's what happened. Maybe they played Greenwood in off the left, but
yeah, I think so.
But then you got Jaden Sancho, so maybe those two either side.
Yeah. Okay. So you think he will start?
Yeah.
I don't want to take a -4 to get him in and then see him on a bench. But even if he comes off the bench, he's still dangerous, isn't he?
So, okay, let me pose a question. You can have 2 of these 3: Lukaku, Kane, Ronaldo.
Well, I've got Lukaku and Kane at the moment.
Lukaku and Ronaldo for me.
Yeah, I think the same. Although Lukaku's now got this thigh injury. It's definitely a week. If you take anything from this podcast this week, it's definitely a week where you wait until you hear about who's injured, who's not. Son might have an injury now. Lukaku might have an injury now. I mean, there's going to be a lot coming out of who can actually play because of isolation rules. I don't know what's happening with what's happening. I mean, that fast with the Brazil-Argentina game. Did you see
Oh my
that?
goodness!
Yeah.
It's pretty hilarious. Yep.
Definitely, whatever you do, guys, show a bit of patience and don't transfer in players 2 weeks ago.
Correct. 100% correct. Yeah, that would be.
Good
I mean,
times.
shame you don't listen to this great advice you give, mate.
So, well,
Okay.
learn from me. So, I've been looking, lads, at some of the transfers that have come in. There were quite a lot of business. There was quite a lot of business done on transfer deadline day. I've actually looked at about 25 players that came in. I've narrowed that down though to a top. I know top 5 is the way to go, but I've done a top 6. Oh no, I haven't. I've done a top 5. You're fine. Top 5. After which I'll warn you of any that you should just leave well alone, because I've looked at some of these transfers. I'm looking at them and I'm wondering what the heck these clubs have done. But there we go. Shall I just?
I haven't got any
on?
intro music for you.
Fire away.
Are any of your transfers in strikers?
Yeah. Shall I tell you when they're a striker? Oh, really?
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Oh, let's go.
Okay, brilliant. All right, number 5. He made the move from Manchester United to Norwich. I think we actually talked about him last week briefly. But Brandon Williams is still currently 4 million. There's a price-wise warning.
4 million? That is crazy.
4
million. That's got to be pretty close to 4 point. It's got to be quite close to 5.
Yeah, that's true. 4.0 million. But he's about to rise to 4.1. So if you're listening to this pod, double check, get in there quick, because there aren't many at 4.0 or indeed 4 million who are playing at the moment now. Shimikas, Phil?
He's ready and waiting.
Well, he's price rised. Livramento, I think he must have price rised by now.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah. Amati is injured. So, yeah, in those 4.0 players, there's not a lot out there. Brandon Williams will start and will play every week. So if you're looking for an enabler, then take a look at Brandon Williams. Won't get you many points going forwards, but he's going to play every week.
But he's your bench, isn't he, really? Because,
Yeah.
you know, to have players on your bench that at least play, he's a third bench player.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not suggesting getting him in because he's going to be brilliant for you all season. You're getting him in case of emergency.
Yeah. Absolutely.
A Norwich defender is unlikely to haul regularly.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, no one at that price point, you're not bringing them in because you're expecting them to get loads and loads of points.
No.
Agreed.
Okay, let's move to number 4. And with this guy, I see goals.
Oh, do you?
Oh, come on now. Oh, there he is. That's fine.
I see girls.
Thank you.
This is Odsonne Edouard. Edouard, who's made the move from Celtic after a few prolific seasons for them. He came through the ranks at PSG. He's done very well at Celtic and has now made the move to Palace. He sits on the game at 6.5 million. In his last 3 seasons, he scored 15, 22 and 18 goals for Celtic, and all of those in under 32 games. So he's got a goal ratio of 1 in every other at Celtic, but so did Lee Griffiths. So, approach with caution. Do approach with caution. But he was in a poor Celtic team last season and still managed to score 18 goals. So, definitely worth a look. I think he's going to sit up top with Benteke. I think he'll replace Benteke up top. He's there. Is it Andre Ayew who's replaced? He's coming for. Yeah.
I mean, Palace with him. Palace have got iffy fixtures until game week 11 when they have a nice run of fixtures for 3 or 4 games. They've got Liverpool. Oh, they've got Spurs and Liverpool next. So I wouldn't get him now. Then Brighton, Leicester, Arsenal, Newcastle.
Okay.
So there's a chance to see what he's like before you get him in.
Yeah, I mean, and so maybe if you've got 6.5 to play with in your wildcard team, you'd maybe be looking at Ivan Toney at the moment in that price bracket, or Adam Armstrong at Saints. But yeah, certainly one to keep an eye on there. Odsonne Edouard.
I did dream last night that Adam Armstrong scored a hat-trick.
Wow.
Yeah, that would only be in your dreams, mate, I'm afraid.
Well, it's not in my dreams because he's not in my team. I don't know why I'm having these dreams. It's really weird. I mean, why would I dream something that I don't want?
It's true. It's true.
Indeed.
Number 3 then, for West Ham United, Nikola. Hey, listen, it's that kind of world these days. Nikola Vlasic. He is 6 million on the game. An attacking midfielder. I think quite the prospect. 11 goals and 5 assists in 26 games last season in the Russian Premier League. He gets forward well. Will support the Antonio up top. Probably playing that number 10 role. For 6 million, you've got a lot of kind of 6 to 7 million West Ham assets there, all similarly priced. So you've got Bowen, you've got Benrahma, you've got Souček. Fornals, absolutely. So Vlasic comes into the thinking there. But actually, of all those names, with the exception of maybe Benrahma, this guy's the most out-and-out, statistically, the most out-and-out attacking player. So, I think...
What do you think he does to the other West Ham assets? Because obviously West Ham have got quite a thin squad. They've got the Europa League coming up. And I fear that, they're going to have to rotate at some point.
Yeah.
And you mentioned 5 fairly attacking midfielders there. They're not going to be able to play all of them. No,
you got Kufal there as well, of course.
Well, he's right back, isn't he?
Well, yeah, okay. Wing back. Wing back.
Yeah.
You're right. They're not going to be able to play them all. It's a squad game. I think he probably plays in that role that Lingard played so effectively for them last season. They haven't actually replaced like for like until now.
No.
Lingard. So and he was very, very prosperous in that position last season. So I think statistically looking at him, he might be a differential for folk because everybody's jumped on Benrahma, everyone's jumped on Antonio.
I find it incredible that West Ham have not got a striker in the transfer window.
A little bit. Antonio's 31. He's got no backup. Bowen can play up front. He did for Hull.
He did bang him in for Hull, didn't he?
So Bowen can play up front.
Should Antonio get injured, they're in a bit of trouble, aren't they, to say the least?
Yeah.
Okay, Mike, who's next?
So that's Vlasic. Number 2 then. Again, a well-known quantity in the Premier League, but I think in a team where he will really excel, and this is Daniel James. Moved from Manchester United to Leeds United last week. 6 million on the game. Carries his price with him from United. He looked, for me, I've only seen United play once the full 90 so far this season. That was against Wolves. And for me, he was man of the match in terms of Man United assets. I thought he was excellent. And I think in a team with the energy, the drive, the counter-attacking ability that Leeds possess, I think Dan James at 6 million is a really good shout. He sits alongside Harrison. I don't see James being on set pieces. I might be wrong. I know he was actually in that Wolves game. James was on corners for United for quite a number of their corners. But I just he excites me.
Do you think
those Leeds assets?
He causes me problems because whose position does he take? And I don't think he's going to drop Rafinha, but does Rafinha then move central? And what does that do to him as a fantasy football asset? Because Rafinha might take more of Rodrigo's role because Rodrigo, plays in behind sometimes, doesn't he?
You've got Rodrigo and you've got Dallas in the centre, haven't you? Normally, traditionally.
Yeah.
I would think he does take Rodrigo's position.
There's going to be a few of these signings which I might not jump on straight away, but it might affect the players I've got. Benrahma and Rafinha are both in my team, and both of them may well have their positions changed in the coming weeks.
To still have a wild card in my pocket. My goodness.
You've got one, haven't you, Ant? Are you playing it?
It's currently active, boys, but we'll get to that later.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Oh, yes.
So what? So okay. So we'll get to your team after Mike's little section then.
Absolutely.
Okay. The last part of my little section is he's a known quantity, lads. We've talked about him already. I'll be brief. Cristiano Ronaldo.
There he is. Lovely.
He sees goals. Last season,
he probably sees goals as well.
Last season, in a pretty average Juventus side, he scored 29 goals in 33 games.
Yeah,
it's insane stats, isn't it?
And he will boss everything. Like he will be on everything. I don't think he's scored a direct free kick for something like 6 years in league football.
Yeah.
So be wary of that. But yeah, he will be on pens. Bruno, step aside, my friend. Yeah, I don't know how you can't have him as an asset. I've completely come full circle. When I first heard the rumours, I was like, well, yeah, I'm not so sure. But reading into the stats from last year, seeing the highlights of the game this week for Portugal, I just think he's a must-have. He's a must-have. So he's my number one. To quote S Club 7, "You're my number one. I'd do anything for you."
Thank you. Or Tinty Strider.
It's like they're in the room.
Oh, I was about to. Okay, that was going to rhyme with you and Lukaku, but it's okay. Carry on.
Sorry. Well, maybe got something for the end there.
Yeah, maybe.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, who knows? So Ant, then you've
Yes.
got you've activated your wild card. Should we
Indeed.
talk about that after we do our quiz?
Oh, please do. Absolutely. It does
Okay,
feel like
so-
quiz time, boys. So
It does feel like quiz time. So this quiz will determine who gets their captain picked by a listener.
we should just say that this, I think, is the first time it's ever happened. We all got 1 point from last week, didn't we? So we've had a rollover here.
Yeah, it's a rollover. So you ready for the quiz, boys?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Let's do this. It's a quiz. The loser gets their captain picked by a listener with great instinct. Sometimes cruel and sometimes kind. Our quiz leaves others far behind. Oh, it's a quiz, 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 it's the quiz. Gents, it's the quiz.
Lovely.
Time for the quiz. That seems to get longer every week.
It really does. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. So sorry about that.
No, it's fine. It's very, very jingly. Very nice.
Who wants to go first? Anthony, you're wildcarding. Why don't you go first?
Okay, boys. Okay, so goalkeepers, boys. Goalkeepers. So 3 game weeks in, we've got 13 goalkeepers who've made at least 8 saves as recorded on the game. So what I want to know is, Mike, alphabetical order. You can say your number first. How many of those 13 do you think you can name?
13.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't go 14.
No, you can't. I mean, has this ever happened before? No, it hasn't. So,
I mean,
okay.
it's what I would class as being ballsy, if not.
It feels like he's already got them in front of him.
Right. I mean, I can't one up you, so it's over to you.
Okay. Let's go with Jose Sarr.
Pardon?
Sarr of Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yes, he's on there. Yep, 4th on the list.
Yeah. Hugo Lloris.
Number 1.
Meslier.
Yep.
Nick Pope.
Number 2.
David De Gea.
Yep.
Edward Mendy.
I mean, are you not any bits?
Mendy of. Let's have a quick look. Oh, dear, Mike.
I'd say he's number 7 on the list, mate. To be honest.
Oh, he's got the list in front of him. It is.
Well, this was the quiz I'd prepared.
Oh, no. I tell you what, boys. Oh dear. All right.
What an absolute.
No, it's all right.
What are the chances of you both picking the category?
All right,
of
I'll tell you what.
Saves?
I'll tell you what. Phil, why don't you do yours? And while we're doing that, I'll just come up with a new one for you, boys. Eh?
Yeah, I'll also come up with one.
Okay. Right. Okay. Cool.
I mean, what are the? I knew there was something suspicious.
I mean, yeah, we should have guessed, really.
I mean, the chances of that happening is quite incredible.
Sorry about that.
No, it's quite
Okay,
good. So, Phil, over
Yeah,
to you.
okay. So I'm looking. I like to pick some informed players, so that's what I'm going to do. Just to remind people who we've got here, that's actually doing well this season. So I'm looking for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's call it the 15 most informed players in the game.
Okay.
And yeah, how many of those can you name?
5.
Oh, less confident.
Yeah.
6.
Oh, we know that 6 is Ant's weak spot traditionally.
Yeah. 6 most informed players. My mind has pretty much gone to mush, so I'm going to let you play 6, Ant.
Okay. Antonio's got to be on there. Got
Correct.
to be, surely.
Yep.
Benrahma.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the West Ham ones done, boys. My main man in my team, Mohamed Salah.
Yep.
Who else has done well, boys? 2 weeks was like a long time, or like 10 days was
I
like
know.
a long time now here.
Yeah.
How many have I got? 3, haven't I? Yeah, I'm only halfway. DCL?
Yes.
Okay. Jesus?
He is. Yeah, he's in there. Yeah.
Oh.
2 to find.
One more. No, last one to find.
Bring it home, Ant.
Mason Greenwood.
Oh, no.
He's there. He's fourth most informed player and gets the win.
Well, that is a shock, boys. Lovely old stuff.
Well done,
All right. Well done, Ant. Well done. All right, let's move to mine and hope that Ant hasn't replicated it. I'm looking for the I believe there are 13 players that have had 2 yellow cards already this season. So how many can you name?
Oh gosh.
Phil, do you want to go first?
I will go for 2, 3. I'll go 3. I mean, that is a very hard quiz.
It is. You can have your 3, mate.
Sorry, I had a really good one lined up about goalkeeping saves, but unfortunately somebody started.
Hello.
So,
Well, technically, I did it first.
Yeah, you did. Go on then, Phil. Hit me with 3 players that have had 2 yellow cards or more.
Well, I know 2, and I'll guess 1.
Go on then.
So Bruno has.
Yes, he has.
Petulant child, so he has.
Oh yeah, that's a good shout.
Thinking of petulance, I think Paul Pogba has.
He has. Very good.
Yeah.
Oh, Philip.
So you've got 1 to find.
Yeah. Now that 1 to find.
Who's the dirty players? Who is the dirty players?
Yeah, I'm just thinking of players which get rattled. I don't know. I haven't had him in my team. I'll go Richarlison.
He is there on 2 cards. Very good. Very good. Okay, 1 apiece, which means I have to get this.
Right.
Right.
So
The
over to you.
new one, boys. So how many of the 10 most transferred in players this season can you name? So Phil, you picked your number first last time. So Mike, over to you.
Most transferred in?
Yep, since the season began. So this season, the most times they've been transferred into a team.
Okay. I'll go... Of the top 10, I'll go 5.
Okay. Phil, can you beat 5?
I'm going to go 6.
Okay.
In fact, I'm going to go 6.
6. In fact, 6. Okay, good. Mike, do you fancy 7? Bear in mind you need to win. Okay.
No.
So you need your brother to fail miserably here.
Yes, I do.
Has happened many times.
Phil, over to you, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, how many did I say?
You said 6. So far, you've named none.
Just got to think of players that people have jumped on. So I'll go Antonio. He's got to be.
Unsurprisingly number 1 on the list. Yep.
There we go. I don't know. Lukaku?
Yeah, he's 3rd on the list. Four to get.
How about?
Oh, what a shout that is! Yeah, he's 7th on the list. Wow.
Because everyone brought him in, didn't they? After
they did. Yeah, they did jump on that bandwagon fairly early. You're halfway.
Who was the lad that you bought? Paul Pogba.
Paul Pogba, yes.
Because he got like
Yeah.
ridiculous assists.
He had those 4 assists, didn't he, in game week 1? So yeah, he's 5th on the list. 2 to go.
Yeah, I'm really struggling now. Does it include the amount of times they've been transferred out?
So the info line, just to clarify, is this is the total number of times a player has been transferred into a team this season.
Good luck, Phil.
Yeah, cheers. Ben Rama.
Oh, Shaman.
Good shout. Number 2. You are 1 away from condemning Michael,
Oh,
your
come on.
brother, to having a captain picked by one of our lovely listeners.
I'm torn between. Should I tell
2
you who I'm
lovers?
torn between? 2 lovers? No.
Okay.
I'll tell you. I'm torn between Torres of Man City and Ronaldo, but because I don't know the figures, because you said Ronaldo's been transferred in 1 million times earlier,
I did say that.
and have 1 million people transferred in Torres. Probably not. I'm going to go Ronaldo.
Aye.
The victory and the spoils for young
sweet
Philip.
by
Oh, I'm
Philip.
sorry, Mike, but that unfortunately, as you have 0, which is very unusual. It has to be said when it comes to quizzes.
Yeah.
They are normally your forte. Yeah, unfortunately, Mike, that is your captain pick this week, I'm afraid. Yeah, so the full list on the 10 was Antonio, Ben Rama, Lukaku, Ronaldo, Pogba, Duffy of Brighton.
Duffy. Wow.
Yeah, Simicast, Greenwood, Dennis of Watford sat there with his 15 points, and
That's probably because
Son.
Mike talked him up.
He did.
Yeah,
It's all down to Mike. So Mike's actually not helped himself there. So there you go. So
That was
whoever,
the quiz then, boys.
and it was indeed.
It's a quiz, it's a quiz, it's a quiz, it's a quiz. The loser gets their captain picked by a listener with great instinct. Sometimes cruel and sometimes kind. The listener is always right. It's a quiz, it's a quiz, it's a quiz, it's a quiz.
All right.
Now,
We've all just aged now. Good.
will you? Obviously, you'll not have your captain pick, and that's what you've won. Have you got a countdown Oxford Dictionary and pen? No. Have you got £4,000 and a hug from Ben Shepherd? No. So, ultimately, well done. Beat me on a quiz, but
You sounded very Ricky Gervais at the moment.
Right, Mike, you went on countdown. You hardly shone. You got a prize that you get given for being on the show. like you got like the thanks for coming prize.
6 minus 3 is free.
Hold on, I got the conundrum, lads.
Cool. Did you win any episodes?
Well, define winning, really.
Beating your opponent? More points than your opponent, I'd say.
Not until the last round. No. But then when it came to the conundrum, which everyone knows it's sort of winner takes all really deep down, psychologically.
Next goal wins.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
Psychologically, I won. I lost the war, but I won the battle.
And tipping point, congratulations, you did well.
Yeah.
I absolutely smashed that, lads. Not a single incorrect answer throughout the whole hour.
Yeah.
Is that because their questions are easy?
Yeah, really easy. I wish I'd watched that show. I really wish I'd watched that show before I went on it. If I'd known how easy the questions were, I definitely would not have been going for 2-star questions.
No,
is that what you did? Is it?
Yeah, did a lot of played it safe 2-star questions. Really, I should have gone for 3.
So you could have had 10,000. So what you're saying is you didn't do great at that quiz either.
You didn't back yourself, did you?
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Should we look ahead to game week 4 then, boys?
Oh, by the way, I should point out I came third in Come Dine with me. Anyway,
out of 4.
Don't bring that up. So we got a question from Rajveer who says, how many changes should you play before you'd think, I'll just do wildcard? So, Ant, what forced you to play a wildcard? Did you want to make a large number of changes?
Yeah, I mean, I had quite a few Villa assets, and Villa have got some really nasty games coming up. And I just had quite a few players who I think you've got to have in your team at the moment that I didn't have, Antonio being one of them. But as we've covered, boys, Cristiano Ronaldo, he feels like the player you have to have in this week. So I've had to make a number of changes to shoehorn him in. I would suggest, to answer the question, if you've already made 3 transfers and you still need to do more, I'd be pressing that wildcard button myself. But we know how stingy I am when it comes. I'm on the polar opposite to Mike. I hate starting a game week on a minus figure.
Yeah.
Do not like it. I like to start on a 0 myself.
You're a
but
tightwad.
I am a tightwad, yeah.
Yeah, that seems to.
What's your view on that, Phil?
Yeah, so I'm looking at a -4 this week to get Ronaldo in whilst I can afford him, and that will mean sacrificing Benrahma. But I've got Benrahma and Antonio, and I feel that I don't need 2 West Ham assets. And I like having players from a range of teams, because that means it gives me something a bit more to watch. Because although I take the game seriously enough to do a podcast with you boys, part of it's having fun when you watch a game, being able to cheer someone on. So I might go for Trincao in for Benrahma, because Wolves fixtures are so good, and then get Ronaldo, and then that'll give me a Wolves and a Man United asset, and I don't have either of those so far.
Okay.
Traore, how much is Traore? I can't afford him, can I? Is he 6.5?
No, 5.9.
Traore?
I might be making that up.
I think he's 6 something. I saw that he's 4th highest in the list, boys, for chances created for his teamates. He's getting into all the right. I mean, Wolves haven't actually scored a Premier League goal yet this season, have they? So, but they're obviously, shall we say, a little bit unlucky in knocking on the door. So maybe when they do finally break their duck, they'll hammer somebody.
Well,
he was 5. He was 5.9. He's gone back up to 6.
So Traore, the issue is for me, because Wolves have got great fixtures coming up. Sorry, Ant, I've cut over your wildcard.
No, it's fine.
Wolves have got great fixtures coming up for weeks and weeks. They don't have a bad game until December the 4th, as we discussed. But now Wolves are playing teams that won't have as much space to run in behind for Traore. Is that fair to say? Watford are probably they're going to be deep. Brentford might attack.
Mm-hmm. Brentford have had a really good start, haven't they, to their life in the Premier League? They've done really well, so they certainly won't be probably pushover. I think you'd probably be looking at Brentford to start with when the season started, to say, get your assets in when they're playing Brentford, but maybe not so much now. Yeah,
absolutely. I think have you got any Wolves in your wildcard team, Ant? Because I mean, for me, Traore seems route 1, because that's the default. Go for Traore. He's looked dangerous. But
I haven't.
Feels like a wise move that could pay off, could make me look a bit stupid.
Yeah, he's one of those, though, isn't he? If it comes off, you look like a hero, though, isn't it? So, you've got to gamble. Probably we need to gamble a little bit more, Phil, I would suggest, don't we? Because we've not had such a good start as Michael has, who's gambling. But I would suggest, if you've had a strong start, you're going to go down the safe route, apart from Mike. And if you haven't had such a good start like me and you, we're going to be looking for those differentials, aren't we, in players that probably people haven't got so much.
The toss-up for me with Trincao and Traore is Traore's played a lot more minutes. They've both started every game, but Trincao's come off earlier each time. And if you're not on the pitch, you're not going to get me points.
As you said, the Wolves do have those really, pretty tasty-looking fixtures coming up. I'm just looking through them now. The next 5 all look winnable on paper. But is there still that niggling doubt that they haven't scored yet? But you wonder how long that'll be a monkey on their back if they don't score soon.
True. Let's go. So talk us through your wildcard team, man.
Yeah, this is obviously subject to change, boys. I would just clarify that. But at the moment, obviously, if I go from front to back, so Cristiano Ronaldo. Again, my 2 strikers, I've got 4-4-2. My 2 up top, 2 players I think you've got to have in this game week, particularly Ronaldo and Antonio. If I look into midfield, so Damari Gray
who was your 3rd striker. Sorry, Ronaldo, Antonio.
Oh, sorry, Dennis of Wolves. Of Watford, who, as we know, is one of the 10 most bought-in players, boys.
Dennis. That's my Mr. Wilson impression. We really need to get that soundbite.
There are so many. There really are so many. Damari Gray's had such a great start for Everton, hasn't he? He was actually somebody who was in my very first team I had.
Get him out of your team. He's in my team. Get lost.
Well, he's also in my team. Look at Everton's next 3 games as well, boys. Burnley home, Villa away, Norwich home, and then after Man United away, they've got West Ham, Watford home, Wolves away. Some really winnable games, and he's had a really good start. I've kept with Pogba and Salah at the moment. I think United's fixtures are good, and Pogba has been getting in the points. Salah
could be the one who's providing for Ronaldo because they haven't got too much creativity in there. They've got a lot of attack, but not much creativity.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose Bruno, but Bruno, I don't know how he's going to feel not being the star of the show.
He'll probably be getting more yellow cards. I would imagine, boys. I don't think he would have been too happy about seeing Ronaldo come in. Mohamed Salah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, why would you take him out? He's a star man. This is one I'm not sure about, boys. I'll get your view on this. Ferran Torres of Man City. Now we're very much all of us.
I like that.
Oh, hello. Very much not normally touching Man City assets because of Pep Roulette. However, he's a midfielder on the game, but has been playing as a striker.
Yeah,
seems to be one of the few you can possibly rely on to start. Played 90 minutes in 2 of the 3 games. Scored a couple of goals against Arsenal in the last game, and he's quite cheap. I think he's 7.1. So
crucially with him then, because I agree he's a bargain on the game. You have to be able to cope with him not starting. So if he doesn't start, who's going to come in for him? Will it be Dennis, or are you starting Dennis?
I've got a couple of assets certainly for this game week. You might do okay if they came on. See, I've got Gallagher of Palace.
Oh,
had
okay,
a really good game
that's
against West Ham.
Yeah.
Scored 15 points, scored 2 great goals. So he would be one, and also Pinnock of Brentford, who've got Brighton at home as well. And Brentford only conceded the 1 goal, haven't they?
Yeah.
So they've looked, pretty tight at the back. So I'm quite happy with that. That if he doesn't play, then I've got a couple of options to come off the bench there. Look to my back 4. I've actually taken a bit of advice here, boys. Eric Dyer's in my back 4. I've listened to Mike on this one.
Hello.
Yeah, I really have.
Mike will have him out his team in no time.
Yeah. He's. I've got a -20 lined up here, and he's set to leave me for Connor Cody actually, because I think Connor Cody is the same price and has got better fixtures coming up.
Well, if you look at Dyer's points, 7.67 in the first 3 game weeks, 4.6, lovely and cheap, only 7.5% ownership, so kind of a differential really. Palace away next, and they've got Villa at home, Newcastle away coming up. They haven't got Chelsea at home, but yeah, there's some good fixtures in there, boys. Yeah. Spurs look pretty good at the back as well, so he's in there alongside Christensen of Chelsea, who I think I would maybe suggest is a bit of a surprise. He's played 90 minutes across all 3 games.
Yep.
Again, Chelsea have been very good defensively since Tuchel came in. Only 2.8% ownership for him at 5 million. And then 2 players who I've kept in for my original team, Luke Shaw and TAA. TAA, I think, just one of those players you've got to have in at the moment. He's in the points, isn't he? And Luke Shaw, again, he's not really possibly having the effect going forward that we thought he might have. He's only actually got 11 points across the 3 game weeks, but I think United have got some really good fixtures coming up. And then in goal, possibly one I need to look at is Sanchez of Brighton. But again, they've not been too bad defensively. So yeah, that's my team as it stands, boys. I think it's an improvement on what I had before.
You've definitely got a lot of variation in there, because at the start, it sounded like you were just copying my team, but you've not.
Unbelievable.
I mean, bearing in mind I'm last, I wouldn't advise it. So
yeah, I was going to say,
it's good that you've got a lot of players there that aren't, they're not the
template teams,
players,
are they?
Yeah.
No. So, and that's, as I say, not having the best of starts. I think I'm 2.6 million in the game at the moment, boys. So, polar opposite to last year, had a really strong start. Was at the top of our league, for the vast majority until the wheels fell off in the last 6 weeks. So yeah, I am chasing a bit, but yeah, I'm happy with that team. I think at the moment, you can never tell sometimes, but yeah, I can't envisage changing that too much beyond that, to be honest.
Couple of things before we finish your wildcard section. First of all, can you remember the first name of Mr. Wilson?
No.
In Dennis?
it's just a quiz.
It was George. Oh, George, just leave Dennis alone. Also, I don't know if you can see my screen share, but Dennis's mum was hot.
Pardon?
Dennis's mum. She was beautiful.
Okay, she's a cartoon, but that's cool.
Yeah.
Cartoon.
Yeah.
She looks like a air hostess, I assume.
She does. Does there. I mean, ranked probably second only to April O'Neil for me there in terms of cartoons that I've found quite attractive.
April O'Neil.
So, oh yeah, April O'Neil, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the reporter in a yellow jumpsuit.
What about the lady from Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Jessica Rabbit. Oh, so cliched, Phil. Come on, think outside the box.
Or
Still, at
what
least-
about the bunny from the Cadbury's caramel adverts?
Yeah, she was sultry.
I mean,
Very sultry.
I seem to be quite into rabbits. Well, this is so.
At least we haven't, we've gone how far? 45 minutes, boys, in this podcast without talking about food, which has got to be a first.
Yeah. Well, it's Lola Bunny, Phil from Space Jam 2, Looney Tunes. Lola Bunny.
I've not seen Space Jam 2.
I haven't seen Space Jam 2.
I mean, I haven't got a bunny fetish. And my wife this.
She
wow,
is.
okay.
She is a female bunny. So actually, I think you're going to like her.
Does Space Jam 2 ruin the first one, as in the legacy of how good the first one was?
That's rude. Hold on. I'll show you Lola Bunny, Phil. Sorry, if you're listening along, then pull over if you're in the car and have a quick look at Lola Bunny. Then get back to driving immediately. But
whilst we are talking about food, so
are we?
Well, I mentioned that we weren't talking about food, but fine.
There's Lola Bunny.
Right. Okay. There she is, Mike.
She's based on that young lady, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
good grief.
She looks too young.
Okay.
Too young for me. I like my rabbits aged.
You did, yeah. She was very much a mother, wasn't she? Very much a MILF of the cartoon bunny world. The caramel bunny.
How have we come here?
Okay, so anyway, talking about food. So me and my wife have started on a diet, to try and just to freshen ourselves up a bit. And we're on this Joe Wicks diet, which effectively gives you barely any carbs.
Yeah, my wife was on this.
Oh,
sounds like a trap.
She was very angry.
One day, and I've woken up with a headache today.
Yeah.
And I played football last night, and you'll notice it affected my performance. It wasn't great. And I've got granola for lunch today. To have scrambled eggs for breakfast with no toast, just scrambly eggs. Now I've got
what? So just what? Just what?
Scrambly eggs.
Scrambly eggs.
It makes it more fun for kids, doesn't it? Scrambly eggs.
Oh, we call it wibbly wobbly egg in our house.
Even more fun. Even more fun. But so I've got granola, and quite frankly, I can't wait for this podcast to end so I can go and eat it. I'm that hungry that I'm so excited about granola at lunch.
Imagine how angry you'd be if you were on that diet and you lived with me. And that was my wife. That was my wife just 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Rage. Whole lot of rage.
Yeah. Well, yeah. My wife told me she was hangry last night, and that was the first time I've allowed her to merge two words in such a fashionable way.
Don't do it, Phil. Don't do it.
And I really like your team. Your wildcard team. I like it.
Well done, Anthony.
That's probably the nicest you've ever been to me, Phil. It's normally normally when these things are put on Twitter, it's I'm not scared of that team. Oh, it's absolute rubbish. So if you're saying no, I don't know whether that's actually a trap, and you actually think it's rubbish.
I'm behind to you at the moment. I was behind to Mike, but I think he's going to hit enough transfer points this week that I may catch him up before the game week's even started.
Right,
it's true,
boys. That we've left with all that bunny chat. Nice one, Phil. We've left ourselves with just 9 minutes to preview the game weeks and reveal our punts. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds. We're going to take it in turns to preview this week's fixtures. 30 seconds per game. Does that sound like a plan?
Oh,
yeah. Go.
Sure.
So I'll be honest, it's sort of tough if you don't. So who would like to go first?
Well, you can, because I'm trying to find a punt.
So yeah, I just realised I haven't got one either.
Okay. I'll go first then. Crystal Palace against Spurs. This is the last fixture of which to cash in on the likes of Kane and Son. I think Son hasn't been away for international duty, and therefore
he's got injured.
He's got injured.
He may have a calf issue. He's 75% chance of playing.
Oh, good grief!
He's no longer going to be playing against Lebanon, was it?
Okay,
but yeah.
Okay, Harry Kane it is then, and Eric Dyer, of course.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Reguilon and keep him for that.
Or indeed Tanganga, 4.5 mil. That's my 30 seconds up. That's how quick we've got to go. Phil Botto, over to you. Arsenal against Norwich. Who are we backing?
I mean, Arsenal have got to win this game. They've got to play attacking. They've got to go for it. I mean, I think Saka might be a good option here.
Mm-hmm.
What are your views on Saka?
6.5 mil. It's not my views, mate. It's your views. You've got 20 seconds left.
However, Pookie might also be a great option.
Oh,
I tell you what.
Pookie
I know this is your section, Phil, but if Norwich score the first goal, watch those Arsenal heads drop.
Oh, that's very true. And that crowd get a little bit grumbly.
Oh, yes, they do.
They'll be throwing bottles on, and Aubameyang will be launching them back at them, Payet style.
Well, let's wait and see. We're over to Ant now with Brentford against Brighton. It's a cracker.
It is indeed, boys. Yeah, I wouldn't expect too many goals in this one. Brentford have only...
derby.
Indeed, yeah. Brentford have only conceded the 1 goal. Brighton actually had quite a good start until they lost Everton last week. So Duffy, maybe somebody to look at. He's one of the most transferred in players. Pinnock, there's some cheap assets in there, boys. Raya as well, the keeper of Brentford's had a really bright start. I wouldn't be looking at too many attacking assets with this game. Ivan Toney, possibly, if you're looking for a cheaper striker option. But other than that, boys, defensive assets would be what I would recommend for this game.
Very good. I like Rico Henry at 4.5 mil.
Good shout.
Leicester versus Man City. I believe it's my turn. So Leicester, I think, are a worry defensively at the moment. I'd be looking at Man City assets. Jack Grealish has not disappointed for me yet. Still at 8 mil. No price rise, I don't believe. And he's played all 3 games. Your man that Ant's brought in there, midfield / forward, Ferran Torres at 7 million, is he?
7.1.
7.1. I think he's a really, really good shout. You might also want to be looking at Cancelo at the back there. But particularly, I would say looking at Man City attacking assets because I think there'll be goals. I see goals.
Oh, okay, hang on.
Well,
no, that's your 30 seconds gone.
Okay, back to Phil then with Manchester United, Newcastle. Away you go.
Do you want me to surprise you and suggest some Newcastle assets?
I don't know if that's what you genuinely
Can you
believe.
find any?
Woodman in goal. Going to get you save points.
Okay.
Is he
4.5 mil.
4.5 mil indeed. If not, I still think Greenwood's great value, 7.7 at the moment. But I think with Ronaldo, I think his game will actually improve. I think he'll look to impress Ronaldo. I think all the United players, their game is going to be raised by having Ronaldo there. So I would, if you're going to go multiple United players, maybe Varane, 5.5 at the back, only owned by 3.6%.
Okay, let me stop you there. Go to Ant with Southampton, West Ham.
Yeah, I can see goals in this one. Boys at both ends. West Ham have got those 2 assets feels like you kind of have to have at the moment, Antonio and Benrahma. However, Southampton boys with Adam Armstrong, he's had a great start, hasn't he? He set the ground running. Still only 6 million, 13 points already. He maybe want to look at. And kind of Southampton's go-to man, James Ward-Prowse. Still only 3.6% ownership, 6.5 million. Cheaper midfielder asset potentially. On free kicks, penalties as well. Might be one to look at, but I see goals, boys.
I'm not pressing it again, Ant.
No, please, no more.
Speed
Stop. Come on.
Speed him up.
Come on. Okay, which falls to me then. I've got Watford against Wolves. Dennis, Mr. Wilson. If only, I really cannot wait for Watford Newcastle. We've got Dennis up top. Josh King, I think will start this one. They've bought they've got so many players, guys. Let's look at Wolves assets. Trincao, we've bigged them up already. Connor Cody, just 4.5. 6 million for Adama Traore. Those are 3 I'd be looking at. If Jimenez gets goals against Watford this week, look out for him to go on a run. Keep half an eye on him. Back to Phil then, who has Chelsea, Aston Villa.
Chelsea, Aston Villa, the 5:30 kickoff on Saturday night. I really like Ant's call of Christensen, actually. 5 million.
I made that call last week, but carry on.
It sounds so much more, wise coming from Ant.
Yeah, fair enough.
Thank you, mate.
I think Christensen's a great call, 5 million. I think if Lukaku's looking like he's going to be out and you've got a 1 week punt in you before you wildcard next week, maybe Havertz, 8.3, or Rudiger, 5.5. I can't see Chelsea conceding in this game. So any of the Chelsea defensive assets, to be honest. And Alonso.
Oh, stop the clock.
5.7.
Yeah. He was in many teams when I was playing around this week with potential transfers. Anthony, Leeds against Liverpool. Away you go.
Yeah, another game, I think, for the big hitters here, boys, to shine, isn't it? Mo Salah and TAA. Leeds looking defensively leaky. 8 goals already conceded this season, so I would definitely be trying to shoehorn those boys into your team. As for Leeds, I mean, I'm struggling to pick any assets out here. The go-to man last season, Bamford, only scored 1 goal this season, and even Rafinha yet to. Okay, thank you.
So slow on Bamford. I wasn't expecting it.
even old Rafinha, who was very much part of a template team, still only the 1 goal, boys, and 10 points to his name. So I can't really see any Leeds assets here either.
Okay, well there you have it, lads. Last fixture of the week. It's a cracker. It's Monday Night Football. It's Everton against Burnley. I believe it falls to me. So Everton against Burnley. By golly, one to avoid then for Burnley was looking up earlier on. Maxwell Cornet, not Cornetto, but Cornet. He can play either defensive right back or up front. He was a forward converted to a right back during his time in France. So, but FPL have decided to list him as a midfielder. Maybe, I don't know, somewhere in the middle. Avoid him. But in terms of Everton assets, I believe he's going to be fit again. Your man DCL, Richarlison. Alan is about to price right. He's only 4.5 and has been playing some lovely through balls. And my time is up.
What about the lad who they got from Spurs, Crystal Palace on the wing for Everton? Come on now, works for TalkSport.
Andros Townsend.
Andros, he's a sneaky little sausage. He is. I reckon he could be good.
Well, we've made that comparison, him and your man Damari Gray, haven't we? Yeah. So, and I've been backing Townsend up to this point, but I've been made to look a little bit silly. Okay, thank you very much. So our punts this weekend, lads. A reminder, folks, that we have to pick a player of 2% ownership or less. You can join in with this via our Twitter handle at Fantasy Threesome FPL Pod.
That is absolutely not what it is.
That's not it. At FPL Threesome Pod.
FPL Threesome Pod. Thank you, Anthony.
I mean, it's on the back of Phil's T-shirt that he never wears. I got him for his birthday.
Oh gosh,
hurtful.
I had a job interview. I had to interview someone this morning. I couldn't walk around with a
surely there's no better. Well, there is no better attire for an interview. Surely
he was a football fan as well. He may have enjoyed it.
As I was saying, we have to pick a player of 2% ownership or less that we think is going to give us a return this weekend. You can play along too, and the loser will have their captain picked. So, Anthony, who are you going for?
Abdoulaye Doucouré of Everton, home to Burnley, boys.
That's a laughable pick.
Absolutely.
Whatever. We'll see.
And I look forward to someone picking your captain next week. I'm going Semedo.
Who?
Semedo, Wolves.
He was my second choice, but that's fine.
Are you kidding me? Those two picks are smack of people that have not had a great deal of time to look at what they're going to do. Fine. I'm going to go for Odegaard of Arsenal. It was him or Pepe, but I'm going to go Odegaard. 0.8% ownership, 5.5 million, home to Norwich this weekend, and about to go on a lovely old run of fixtures. Martin Odegaard is my punt this week.
I'll tell you why he's only got 0.8% ownership, because he's useless.
Also,
they just spent a lot of money on him. So,
well, we'll see.
Gents, what a rapid fire end to the podcast that was.
Indeed.
Sorry, it would have been smoother if we'd stopped talking about rabbits.
I quite enjoyed it, to be honest, boys. I'm not going to lie. I quite like the old rapid previews.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Rapid or rabbit?
Both.
Excellent. Okay. Well, everyone can go off for their afternoon now and Google image attractive.
I'm doing that exactly now, and I'll be honest. I think we've peaked. I don't think there's much more out there.
Sorry, did you just Google attractive rabbits?
Sexy cartoon rabbits is now in my search history.
Incredible.
Right on that then, gents. Have a great week, and thank you very much for everyone for listening. Please do share the podcast if you enjoy it. We make it for fun, and have a great week. Cheers, boys.
Cheers then.
Bye now. Have a good week.